one. I just want to set this channel up and why I am continuing against all odds to become a successful YouTube phenomenon. Excuse me, on the basis of beat, drug, and mental health issues. Now, you've got to have lived the life, both mentally and drug wise, like a drug ravaged lifestyle. Who is the better person to tell you how drug addiction works than the person that has actually walked the walk? In other words, is more intellectual and vibrant and experienced to tell you how drug addiction works. Now, I cannot give advice, medical advice, because as you can see, I'm not a doctor, okay? But what I can do, I can give you my words of wisdom to say, look, this is me, this is my journey, and I'll explain. My journey is this. At the age of, I'm 44 today. At the age, not today, but I'm 44 now. Soon to be turning 45 on the 3rd of November. Okay, so I was born 3/11/81. 3rd of November 1981. Now, all I want to do from this channel is help as many people suffering with addiction as possible. The mental health side, I can't really gravitate towards it as such, because then I will be giving medical advice, which I'm not able to do so because of I'm not medically trained. However, I am super trained at being a drug addict for 12 to 14 years. But you've got to follow the live streams, ask questions. You know, if you ask questions, I can maybe give some answers. In fact, not maybe, definitely on drug abuse and addiction. But remember, what works for me doesn't necessarily work for the next person, okay? So, in other words, I'll rephrase that. Now, what got me to be clean from all illicit substances does not necessarily mean that that's going to be the same route out for anybody that is suffering from from drug addiction problems or any other addiction. I've never been addicted to sex. I've never been addicted to any of the above, only drugs. Now, if you put the questions on the board, I can do my level best to answer those questions. However, I was just on the live stream for 20 minutes and there was no people that came into the chat, the live chat, which tells me I think the channel may have been sabotaged in some way, shape or form. So this is my next experiment of this channel before I have to make a new email address and a new telephone number. Okay, now a lot of you will know I'm using well, you may not know, but the algorithm will know that I'm using a different mobile data. I've got 2 contract SIMs, okay, one of which I've been using for calls and texts, and the other one I've been using for mobile data, Maybe that's what is slowing the algorithm down. I'm not too sure. But I want to help as many people in addiction as possible. But always remember, I cannot give specific medical advice because I'm not medically trained to do so. Okay? Now, all I'm saying is this: addiction is beatable, but you've got to have certain tools in place to implement the addiction forum or addiction. I'm lost for words for once in a while. Addiction. You should not be wrapped up in addiction. You know, I've got many people that come and drop me private messages in the chat, private messages. I'm due to open a 24-hour helpline for those people. It's like a NA sponsor, so we say. Um, if you're struggling from day to day or early hours in the morning and you feel like going buying drugs or whatever your addiction is, pop into this channel, guys. I can help and guide you, but ultimately it is up to yourself how you deal with this problem. Now, I'm not going to go too deep as of yet until I've got some people in the chat that's going to ask me certain questions, ask me certain caveats, certain this and that and the next of how we can stop people from entering or discontinuing, is my version of addiction. Now, you're looking at a guy named Mark who was in addiction for 12 to 14 years. Okay? Now, that brings me a lot of experience. Prison, mental health institutions, etc., etc., etc. Now, all I want to do is help people. You know, on the back of my downfalls, my pitfalls, I would love nothing more to build a channel on how to beat addiction. I beat it. Not many people thought I could, my family included. Not many people thought I could actually build a rapport with people in addiction to help help gravitate them from the life of addiction to the life of sobriety, which I've never had an alcohol problem, but sobriety and one step at a time is very important, guys. But I'm noticing a shift in the channel analytics. I'm noticing there's not one single person come into the chat after nearly 10 minutes, 9.5 seconds, 9.30 seconds, which tells me I think this channel could have been sabotaged by some narrow-minded person. I don't have any enemies in life, not that I know of anyway, but normally there is people by the 10-minute mark, there's normally 20-30 people in the chat. And this is the second one. I've just put a couple of shorts out now just to help get the channel some traction. So if I get to 30 minutes and there's no people come in on the chat, there you go. 10 minutes, nearly 10.5 minutes. And it's just added the add a Q&A sticker. Let's see, it's gone. Gone. Learn more. Right, okay, so it pops up and it disappears. So, I'm going to have to, I think, not make a new channel. I'll keep my subscribers, of which I've got, which is just south of 80 subscribers. But there's obviously somebody with an ulterior motive that wants to prevent me to progress in giving out, what can I say, life lived experience. Life lived experience of drug addiction. Now, if this doesn't work, after an hour, I'm going to stick it out for 1 hour. 1 hour. Now, if I don't get any people in the chat, I know for certain, for sure, no, for certain, yes, that somebody has interrupted the channel, put some malware in my way maybe, and we'll see. Because normally, even if it's 6 or 8 or 10 people, there's normally people that come in this chat. Now, I want to give it a bit longer this time because I've been studying my way of, not studying my way, studying my way into which is the best country to go to ask about addiction. I've got 4 countries slated in, and I'm going to go to many cities, 4 weeks, 4 countries, of which I can visit 1 city per day or 1 town per day in that particular country. I want to go to Italy because I'm half Italian and that's close to my heart. However, when you get to 13 minutes and you don't have a single solitary soul come in, not drop a like, forget the likes, forget the shares, come into the chat. I really think there is something. I'm going to change it to my other number, I think. Or it might well be that I have 2 contract SIMs. Both, there you go, there's people in now. So I have 2 SIM cards in my phone. Both of which are contract SIMs. Both of which I've got 300 gigabytes of data. You don't need any more than that. Even uploading 3-hour videos, example. You do not need any more than that, guys. All I want to do is offer people. If you put the questions on the board, I can possibly answer them. I cannot answer them with medical advice because I am not medically trained. However, I've just dropped a couple of shorts out there now, which has probably gathered a bit of traction to the live stream. So I'm going to do 20, I think you can download 20 shorts per day, per 24 hours. Now, I've got 18 left. So when I finish this live stream, what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop as many live streams as I am entitled to or allowed to, as per se, to Google, to YouTube's rules, guidelines. All I want to do, guys, Listen, I was an addict for 12 to 14 years. I beat it. Why can't you? Well, you will have to put questions on the board for me to answer, and we'll go from there. So if you put a question up, I've got 2 people in now. If you want to put a question up, how to beat drug addiction, I'm well versed and I can spill my heart out at that topic. However, with mental health, I'm a bit restricted because I'm not a doctor. And I don't want it to come across as though I think I'm a doctor, or YouTube strike me off because they think I'm giving information out which I shouldn't be giving out. Now, if I was in it for money, I wouldn't be smoking a vape on camera, would I? Listen, remember this, guys. When I was in rehab, one man said to me, if you put as much input and influence and effort into your recovery than you do to your addiction, it's impossible to fail. Okay? Now, it never failed for me. Now, you got to remember, what works for one person doesn't necessarily work for the next person. I completely understand that, and I emphasize that the brains, that just because I beat addiction, it does not mean to say that you can beat addiction in the exact same way. Now, another thing is food. Okay? The government says you need to you need to consume 3 meals a day. No. 1 meal a day cuts it. Okay? They tell you 3 meals a day because we're consumers. We're consumers. And the more food we consume, the better economic government is in early in my infancy on this channel. It's only in my head up. I've been showered, changed, etc., etc. Make one person clean from the whole journey, then that has been a journey suffice and sufficient, and that will make me happy. If I can make one person clean from this journey, then I've beat it. I've done it. But however, I would like to make more people clean. I was a drug addict for 12 to 14 years, and you know, it's on that person to require and inspire. No, I beg your pardon. It's up to me to inspire. I've been put on God's earth not to preach about the Bible, even though I'm a biblical person, to preach about addiction. You've got to have been there to know how it ticks, what your triggers are, what your triggers aren't, what your acquaintances are, what your acquaintances are not, what your surroundings are, what your surroundings are not. Now, it's a tricky subject, this one. Mental health, I cannot give advice, really, because that would be going against YouTube guidelines, and also it would be going against my own guidelines. But with drug addiction, I'm a black belt. 14 years as crack heroin. I'm going to be bleeping all these out in due course. Once I reach the super chat and super thanks, and I get on with travels, jump on the coach, jump on the plane to a considerate in comparison, what we have, then it's a different thing. But drug addiction is close to my heart. It really is. It has ruined my life. Ruined my life. Now, if I can put my experience and my demise, and bear in mind, I've got an IQ of 141, okay? But I did not use it. Now, that's my fault. That's nobody else's fault, not drugs' fault. That's my own personal fault. My own personal, not vendetta, my own personal downfall, pitfall. But if I can help people get better and overcome addiction on the back of my problems, on the back of my device, then I'm all for it. I'm all for it. All you need to do is subscribe to the channel. As soon as I get to 500 subscribers and I'm unable to get super chats, I'll be on the plane and I'll be going to, I think my first destination is going to be Italy. I'm half Italian. Bergamo has got a very, very bad drug reputation. The Moroccans taking over the place, you know. Not just Moroccans, don't get it twisted, I'm not racist. But Moroccan people are dealing with Bergamo, which is 48 miles east of Milan. I got on a plane a couple of months ago. I said, can I go to Milan? Now, there's 3 airports in Milan. One is Milan Malpensa, Malpensa Z-E, Centrale, and Bergamo. Now, I wanted to go to central Milan, but I was missold the flight at Manchester Airport. Now, all I want to do is help people. Listen, I've done enough taking, I've done enough stealing, I've done enough robbing, I've done this and that, and the list goes on. But all I want to do now is help people to beat what is the disease of addiction. Now, people don't believe it's a disease. People think it's a choice. No, I have an addictive personality, okay? Whether it be drugs, whether it be sex, gambling, none of them. Is that you, Wilf? None of them occur to me because my problems has only ever been with drugs. When I've had a girl, I can put my hand up now. In the relationships I've had to date at the age of 44, I've never once ever cheated on a girlfriend. So, excuse me. Even if they say different, I have never once cheated on a partner. Now, that to me is a strong man. They've cheated on me, yes, and I've been told, and I am well aware of that. But I have never, ever, ever cheated on a female, well, it wouldn't be male, obviously, on a female partner on a girlfriend. You know, I'm not against gay. My brother's gay. I'm not against gay people at all. You know, people are born. People say they choose to be that way. Narrow-minded fucking Darren G. Oh, this keep your kids in. No, you're born that way with that sexual orientation. Okay? I know this from personal experience, i.e., my brother Joseph. Now, all I can say is this: if you want to beat addiction, put a question up on the board. How can I possibly beat addiction, Mark? Put that up. I will answer it. Any medical stuff, I've got to be very, very careful because I'm not medically trained. But other than that, I'm very well versed, very, very, very well versed on people. A lot of people are anti-gay, and I get that. My brother's gay, but when I think about the nitty-gritty of it, it knocks me sick, okay? But when you've got a loved one who's that way inclined, then you tend to, excuse me, you tend to navigate or de-navigate from what is amongst you and what is making them feel that way. Now, I'm in a lovely room, a beautiful room, okay? Ensuite room. Look at my headboard. Look at that. It's beautiful. But that can't fix the way you feel or the way you think. So get some questions on the Bobby Smith. I remember you, Bobby, yes. I remember you very well. I also remember you as a 1 month user of YouTube. Now, I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to mention the beautiful woman I lost. I'm not going to mention that at all. That is just, you've got to live life on life's terms. Okay? I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. No, I'm not saying you did mean anything. I'm just saying, I'm not going to get dragged into a conversation about how I lost my last loved, and I mean loved, girlfriend. It was very short-lived. It was a very short period of time we was together. But let me tell you, if she was breathing her today, we would be together. I know that for a fact. I'm going to leave that there now because I don't want to be having to shut my life down just to cry my heart out and fucking make a bath towel wringing wet with tears. So I refuse to get dragged into that Bobby Smith J3Y. I'm sure you're only here to have a little gander, have a little, and that's entirely up to you, mate. Have you, Bobby Smith, have you suffered with drug addiction in your past? Have you suffered with a chat in your past? Have you gone overboard with a chat in your past? And I don't mean chat on YouTube. You know exactly what I mean. I'll give you a minute to elaborate and, substantiate on that matter. You know, I need to get my subscription base to 500 subs so I can get super chats and super thanks. So when I do hit the road, it's going to be September now when I go to these first four countries and multiple cities amongst them countries, and to live stream, not to edit, to pre-record. I want people to know what's happening live in them countries compared to our country. Okay? Now I want to help people recover, get into recovery from drug addiction, which is a horrible thing. It's a totally horrible thing. And sometimes we don't have control over our own minds. When I was a drug addict, I would do anything to get my fix. And when I say anything, I totally mean anything. However, I have overcome that obstacle. Now, I want to help as many people out there to overcome the obstacle of addiction. I'll be an addict until the day I stop breathing air, until the day I die. However, being in recovery and being in active addiction is a completely different kettle of fish. Completely different kettle of fish. You know, I'm almost ready for my lunch. This is what I'm getting for my lunch. This. Chicken noodles. Yes, it's processed, but it was processed a couple of days ago. It was £3 and used by the 10th of May 2026. I always make sure that I have 2 meals a day. Now, the government says you need to have 3 meals a day, have 5 veggies a day. Rubbish. Rubbish. They say that because we are consumers. The more we consume, the more we buy off the shelf, the better for the public economy, the British economy. Okay? So you've got to understand this, that people only, yes, people can eat 3 meals a day. Excuse me. Now I fast. I don't eat breakfast. My first meal of the day is normally a sandwich. And then it is then normally a stir fry or something from the shop that I've just got to throw in the microwave. Not a microwave meal. Something that's been made fresh. Normally I go for biryani. I've got 5 biryanis stored in my freezer, and I've got 5 of those, one of which I took out this morning, of chicken noodles. Okay, you do not need 3 to 4 meals per day. It is rubbish. The government say that because we are. I'm sorry, lad. I didn't mean anything. Excuse me, guys, for just stopping track. I haven't. Did you get the people who were threatening your sister? Nobody's been threatening my sister, mate. Nobody's been threatening my sister. I don't know where you get that from. Yes, I'm not daft. My IQ is 141. I'm far from stupid. But I don't dismay on the people that are undereducated. Listen, I was sexually, physically, and emotionally abused in a care home as a child, which then went on for me to shape my life, which is factual. Google it. What happens to people who are robbed of their dignity at such a young age? They go on to commit crime. They go on to commit other offences. One thing I can't get my head around is people who have been subject to sexual whatever in the past go on to become perpetrators. I can't get my head around that. I cannot. I just can't. 40, listen, they say about between 80 and 90 is average. Einstein was only 164. I don't proclaim myself to be anything like Albert Einstein, but what I can say is I'm a very articulate and intelligent person. Bobby Smith Jr., I'll put that down as Bobby Smith hyphen J3Y. I'm sorry, I didn't mean anything, I haven't. Did you get the people who were threatening your sister? Nobody was threatening my sister. That was just me being big brother mode. Nobody was threatening my sister. Okay? Nobody can threaten my sister with the people she's got wrapped around her. Nobody can. But I live 15 miles away from me. I live in Liverpool. She lives in St Helens, which is still Merseyside, but I'm an adopted Scouser. I've been here for 16 years. I came here because I committed an arson offence, which sticks with you for life. Okay? And that arson offence had me have to go to a special psychologically informed psychological environment, otherwise known as PIPE unit, approved premises, had a GPS tag on every time I had to get in a car or a private hire taxi or a bus. I would have to give the registration. This is what level of the things they put on me. No, a 40 IQ is quite low. But if you're a travelling person, you don't go on IQ. You go on what's right for your community, okay? Which is the best community. I'll always, no matter how much this family that I have grief with, absolutely nobody's, okay? I'm not going to mention the names because their name doesn't match up to the names that I know. They're outcasts. They live in a home, ostracized for a reason. But still, I don't want to beat up on them because it is what it is, like us country fiends, us country fellas are seen as weak. No, we're not weak. I watched a thing on YouTube last week on about travellers being denied access to the Mulligan's Bar in Manchester City Centre. Now, what I want to do is I want to take this time to say, if you're not going to let travellers, Irish travellers, English or Irish travellers in your bar just because they're travellers, shame on you. Paddy Doherty was there. Everybody was there. Tommy Joyce, I know personally. I don't know Dougie, but I know Tommy. I know Tommy very well. I used to do Muay Thai for 17 years. Now, he used to come to one of our gyms. Well, no, not one of our gyms. A gym I used to own my boxing skills in. And Tommy Joyce, oh my God, he is a bloody force. He's a gentleman. He's a gentleman. Now, if you've got problems with the choices, that's your problem, not mine. Okay? Your problem, not mine. I have yet to have a confrontation. I was brought up in St. Helens, right? So anybody that's watching who is from the travelling community will know that Tom Price ran, and Jim ran, Curly Jim ran that site to precision. It was spotless, and still to this day, it is one of the best travelling sites, council run, you could ever wish to stay on. If you got a plot on there, then by gum, you're very lucky. Okay? Very, very lucky. But anyway, it's not about travellers, this video. Travellers are good people. Very good people. Very, very good people. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Travelling men and women are good and bad. So as we, gorgeous country fiends, we're good and bad. Everybody's the same. French, Italian, Israeli, Afghani. You get the good and the bad. Islam. You get good Islamists. You get Islamic extremists, which are bad. You know, this is not a political channel, guys. So don't get it twisted. This is just a channel that I want to get to 500 subscribers so I can then move on and get super chats. Yes, super chats and super thanks to contribute. It's my channel. It's my obligation. I just want to help people who are in distress to become successful in the recovery journey. Oh, I'm trying to scratch something off on my t-shirt there. That's actually a part of my fucking t-shirt, or is it not? No, it's not. So anyway, yeah, it is what it is, guys. And you can think what you want to think. I don't give a toss what anybody thinks. Do never put travelling people down because they are good people. Okay? Gypsy, Romany, travelling people are good people. I've had roasted hedgehog, liver, minced liver. Okay? Minced liver, lamb's head, lamb's brains, and parches, which is lamb's testicles. You got to keep rubbing it down, shake it, scraping it down, scraping it down, scraping it down, scraping it down, and it's amazing food. That's a Romany gypsy. Ricky Gorman. I'll drop his name. Ricky Gorman. They were doing a channel at home with the Gormans, and I was living in a tent half a mile from where the ground was. And he took to me like a duck to water. He said, look, he said, you might be a gorger, but you're a lovely gorger. Keep going with your channel. And I'm going to get him on next week or the week after. He's got a fight coming up, so he can't give me any guarantees. But you know what? I like that, because if he said, oh, yes, then and then never come through, I would be absolutely devastated. However, you know, look, guys, all I want to do is help people who are in addiction get into recovery. That's all I want to do. You know, I mean, the government will put programs here, programs there, programs everywhere. Did it work? Who am I to say? But what worked for me may or may not work for the next person. However, they worked for me. So I can only go off, guys. I can only go off the experience I've had amongst myself. Forget not this. This isn't about travellers. I'm just dropping it in. Travellers are good people. Forget travellers now. It's not about travellers. It's about living a good life. Now, when I go to top fans here, be the first and only the mobiles go and support to send in a live chat or super chat. I'm not eligible for super chats yet, guys. But why aren't they showing? I remember you, bro. I remember you, Bobby Smith. I remember you very well. I've got all your comments here. I'll scrap you, bro. Will you scrap me, will you? I know your postcode. L91BZ is my postcode. 36 Stallman Road, Walton, Liverpool. Okay? If you're still listening. My IQ is 40, is that good? Did you get the people who were threatening your sister? Oh boy, did I. You haven't, I haven't. It says, then it goes on to say, it's not that deep, druggy. I'll scrap you, bro. You couldn't scrap an old Ford Cortina if you fucking tried. And if you did, you'd be a fool, because it's worth a fortune. I know your postcode, do you really? The max is possibly 2. No, the max IQ is 171, from my knowledge. Nah, you're not daft. Your IQ is 141. Your phone was ringing. Yes, the phone was ringing. Because I can't help if my phone starts ringing. I can't help that, can I? I'm live streaming. I'm not doing things on the back. I'm doing things live where I'm sat right now on my bed. 36 Stallman Road, Liverpool. You know, I have nothing to hide, me guys. Not to hide against anybody. I don't have enemies. You know why? Because I don't create them. You got to create an enemy to have an enemy. You know, it's kind of it's 2 o'clock now. I'm gonna put my chicken noodles in at 2 p.m. and that's me then. That's done. That's my diet for the day. You don't need to have 3 meals a day. The government say you do because we're consumers. So the more food we buy, the better for the economy. Little do they know, 1 meal per day. You know, you break your breakfast. Breakfast means one thing. You break your fast. Now, in fact, I'm going to have a little, I'm going to have a scran a bit early than what I would normally do. I'm hungry. You stupid, narrow-minded fucking cunts. Excuse my language. Have made me want my food a little bit earlier. Yes, I've got money to go and buy next food. No problemo. However, So there's it. There we go. This side. I've been buying these meals, and they're made. They're not It's not processed food. I don't eat processed food. This food is proper food. Yes, okay. You could argue it's not made fresh. However, 2 minutes in the microwave. Let me go and show me back garden, guys. Flip the camera. This is just a normal plain. We need to weed it for fucking hell. Excuse my language. They wasn't there 2 days ago, 3 days ago. We need to get rid of this ragweed. We're going to put a table in the middle. There's the back gate. There's my neighbour's thingy with a big smudge. Big smudge in the way, which we call camera. We call smudge, but it is a camera, okay? Not that I'm going to need it. I've got my own cameras, me mate. Now, at the end of the day, all I want to do is make peace. And not only make peace, I want to help people who are in drug recovery or trying to get into drug recovery. Please jump into this live. Ask me some questions, guys. Never mind Bobby Smith, you fucking troll. I'm going to block you in a minute, so you can't do anything again. Block you permanently. You have to get another snide YouTube channel. Put your face to it, mate. Like I put my face to mine on my super bike. The super bike I don't have anymore. I'm not gonna lie. I took 3 chases and it had to go. Okay? No different to you. You do a job, you come on top, you got to change the name of your business. Okay? Now, I don't want other stuff. I'm not interested. Absolutely not interested at all. I don't care what. The only thing, oh, that smells beautiful. In fact, black salt, black pepper. And chili poison, or chili whatever it is. And do you know what? I'm gonna put a clove in there, a couple of cloves. Just want to mix it up. Is it cloves? Whole cloves, yeah, whole cloves. So when I get back in, I'm gonna eat it with a wooden spoon because that's just how I am. Okay, so we're gravitating off the subject of why I am actually doing this YouTube channel. So what I'm going to do, knock on my door. I'm going to mix this up. Give the clove chance to, give the clove chance to. There we go. Give the clove chance to inspire the dish. That was only £3. I eat 2 of them a day. Never mind this 3 days. 3 days needed. Rubbish. You don't need 3 meals a day. You absolutely do not. The government will say you do, but you don't. The government say that because, hang on, 12 minutes. This has been going on for longer than 12 minutes, so people keep reshuffling. So keep me on the time now. I just want to give them cloves a little time to incense themselves into the dish. But guys, anybody with addiction that wants, you traveller guys have not got any addiction problems. So why you should take forefront of this chat is absolutely beyond me. And you will not do it for love nor money. You don't, unless you're on the chat every day, every night, betraying your wife, then it's a different story altogether. However, I need to contact old Rusty Relic, King Relic from Australia. Please come into the live. I have got a new channel, guys, which is this one. It's not too dissimilar from the way, from the name that I had my old channel. But once I've got 500 subscribers and I'm eligible for super thanks and super chat, I will be hitting the road. And I mean the international road. Not that I'm going to do the national road first. Okay? So Monday morning I'm out. I've got a coach journey booked from Liverpool to a certain town or city. I'm not sure if it's a town or city. That's right. That's my meal. I'll show you. That's my one of two meals of the day. There you go. That's my home. Very clean. Big bay window. Wardrobe. Things up for hanging, for drying my washing. That would have been an old fireplace. With me being on the ground floor, that would have been an old fireplace that's been filled in. There's my shower room. You know, it is what it is, guys. So what I want to do, I want to plant this right here. I want to plant this food right down my bloody throat where it belongs to be. Drug addiction, then please subscribe to the channel and, subscribe to the channel and get some in-depth information of how you can quit drugs. This is chicken noodles, $2.99. I normally live off stir fries. I get 3 lots of stir fries and then 4 lots of stir fries. No meat. The noodles provide the protein and everything else provides the goodness. I just felt a bit lazy this morning and I didn't really want to go ahead with buying. I've got plenty in the freezer. Now, if you're wrapped up into drug addiction, there's nothing to say you can't eat properly. Of course you can. I put some black pepper, some chili infusion, and 2 full cloves, which is making this taste a hell of a lot better than normal. Now, when I end this video, this live stream, it always comes up. Your average chat was 4 minutes and 59% or 4 minute whatever percent. So there's people that listen, and they're the watch hours. Absolutely bloody gorgeous. Because you know why? It's made the day before it gets put in the shop, and it's only in the shop for 3 days. So I go and get it on the day it gets dropped off. Only buy a few, 20 quid worth, and then I freeze them. Freeze the rest. Because I cannot cook. I can't cook for love nor money. I haven't got a clue how to cook. That's why it costs me more every week to eat. Oh, it keeps 12 minutes and then it's 15. It keeps knocking it back. I'm on to you guys. I'm on to you. I might have to change my email address, I think. It was 12 minutes before I left the room. This was in the microwave for 2 minutes. And all of a sudden, I'm on 15 minutes. What? I live in Liverpool, not Blackpool. Yeah, so 1 meal a day you need, guys. Not the government saying you need 3. You don't need 3. That's a consumer's act. Oh, my video's going, my battery's going 15%. I've just had a full clove on my last bloody mouthful. Just my luck. You know what? Beautiful though. That must be gypsy curse. Anyway. Hello guys. Whoever's a shower and a change of clothes. Anyway. So I'm just waiting for the Montrex order to come through today. Guaranteed by 4 o'clock. Just 3 pairs of shorts and 3 t-shirts, which are for my adventures. I'm going to take one thick jacket, which I'm going to have on my back, so they can't charge me for. Montrex 2.0 Arctic. I'm not going to need it in the summer, but I may do. Who knows? Who knows? Only God knows. Only God knows our do's and don'ts in life. It's not a biblical channel, but I'm a strong believer of God, Jesus Christ. I pray every morning and every evening. But it's not a biblical channel, guys. Okay? It is not a biblical channel. For those who think Jesus is not there, he's watching over every one of his forbidden, forgotten sons and daughters. Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. Remember that, guys. But yeah, we'll see how this analytics goes. But I think I need to make more short form videos rather than just jumping onto the live stream straight away. I think I need to, in fact, I don't think, I know that I need to make some short form videos. See, 12 minutes again. 12 minutes, it was at 15 before. So what I need to do is change my YouTube profile, change my identification, i.e. email address. Because it was on 15 minutes before. You heard me say it. All of a sudden I look round, 12 minutes. No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It was on 15 minutes before. And then it was on 12 minutes. How does that work, guys? Come on. How does that work? So I'm approaching in 50 seconds, 15 minutes of live stream. I've been on this live stream for about half an hour, but it keeps on distributing me to, or disengaging me, for want of a better word, to 12 minutes, 10 minutes. No, it's not right. So I'm going to cut it short there now, and I'm going to put some short stream videos out. Take care. Goodbye, guys.